Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on and do an intro to this video because when we started the deck, we started it in the end of November and the beginning of December, and Scott only got so far and then we had to stop. So I kind of pieced a couple of things together for the video. I hope I got enough information for you guys to understand what he was doing in the process of building the deck. I'm gonna do it in two parts. This video will be part one, and then hopefully I will have another video as a part two. Now, Scott is on vacation this week. He is on spring break, and he is working on the deck a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna finish it because it is calling for sleet, snow, and rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today is Thursday. So I'm not sure how far he is gonna get. So I will do it. I will post part one now, and then I will film him doing the second part, and hopefully we will get enough to where it's almost complete. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for following along. We are out here trying to get some projects buttoned up, and Scott started an upcoming project that we have. So I wanted to bring you out and show you what he's doing. Hey baby.
Hi.
What you doing?
I'm filling in this edge of the house with some dirt. So from the construction, it just, when they backfilled around the house, it just settled, you know.
Yeah,
so it was pitched back at the soil, so you can see it over here yet, where the pitch was going back towards the house.
Oh, sure.
So we're getting ready to put on the deck, and I thought, well, I should do this before I put the deck on because it'll be easier. So I just went and got some fill, and I just kind of banked it up. So it'll be, so if water does get in here, it'll run down the hill away from the house, not towards the house.
Yeah, I'm trying to back up without tripping. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then we got, yeah, just give it a nice pitch away from the house, and then we're gonna take all that wood chips and fill all this in so it's got, so weeds and stuff don't go under the deck.
So that board, let's explain to them, that board behind you is what?
Well, this is what the deck is going to get attached to. I think that's called your header or your leader board or ledger board or something like that.
Yeah, okay, and then...
So the contractors did all that for me when they built the house, so they got it all. This is just, actually, it was an ingenious idea. They take the, like water and snow and ice barrier, and they put it underneath there, so that way when you screw into the foundation of the house, it seals it up behind it, so it's less chance of leaking. Then they put flashing in there as well, so again, the water doesn't get behind that deck board. And then from here I'll attach, I got these are handy piers, you know, for my footings. That we installed this last week.
What are they called?
This is the version called a handy pier. There's another one called diamond piers. Essentially these are these kind of cone shaped cement reinforced blocks, and these black things are long rods that you drive into the ground, so they go down past the frost line. So they're basically, instead of having to pour cement for your footings, these go into place. And what I like about these is if by chance I need to move it or remove them in the future, I can. So they're a lot easier, so I can reuse them. But we put that in this last week. The brother-in-law was here to help me, and then
and
so
we
put
ordered
in the lumber. Now we're just waiting for that, and while we're waiting for that, I'm just kind of touching up underneath here, so that way, you know, because otherwise you always get weeds and stuff growing underneath.
Yeah, so we're gonna put a huge pile of mulch in through all of this. And the deck will go on top of it, right? And the mulch will be kind of like a ground barrier for the weeds and stuff.
Yep, exactly. So that'll be, the plus two, it'll help, I think, make it look nicer as well. And then eventually the next summer we'll come back in and we'll start landscaping around this once we figure out exactly what we're gonna do. But we're putting in, it's 24 feet along the front of the building, or the building here, and goes out 16 feet.
So the deck will be 24 by 16.
Yep. So
okay.
That is the plan.
we got, I don't know, 9 buckets full of wood chips dumped and spread out underneath where the deck is going to go. And that is one more thing that we can check off of our to-do list. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go outside because Scott has started building the deck. Let's flip the camera around and see what he's up to. It is still early in the morning, so there is frost on the ground yet, and it is chilly out. What's going on?
I am notching out my posts for my, I guess, header that goes across here. Essentially, there's going to be a 2x10 that is going to be supported on here, and it gets attached to each of the posts. So I got to notch out, which is, you can see my little cuts here already.
Here, let me come up there.
So I'm notching it out right here, so the 2x10 will sit on here, and I have a bracket that helps hold it on. And then that's going to go all the way across.
All the way across?
I'll do one on this one and one over there, and then I can put my joists on top of that. So this here is level with the bottom of the...
Here, let me get better so I can show them a better view. I don't want to slip and fall. It's slippery. Okay, so you see that pole right there? Let me get over here. There, can you see it? That little pole. There we go. The sun is shining.
That's just a temporary one, so I could level it all off. But if you want to hand me that big long metal thing there, I can show you.
Where?
Right there.
This?
Yep.
Okay, I'm picking up this piece and handing it to him.
So
sorry about the camera.
So the top of this is level with this. So this is level going all the way across. So I'm going to put my, I think it's called a header, all the way across here, and then my joist gets attached to there with like the big long stringers that run all the way out.
And then that starts the frame of setting the floor to the deck.
Yep. So I'll put 2x10s. Then are going to come off here every 16 inches. They're going to run the length of the entire deck. So then it'll go out 16 feet, and they'll be 16 inches apart. And then then you'll put your deck boards on top of that. So yeah, essentially then, right now I'm going through. I'm going to notch all these off, and then I'll hang my first stringer, and then.
So you're going to notch out this pole, and then there's a middle one here that he will notch out, and then another one.
I took a piece of string, so I put, this is the width of the 2x10.
Hang on, babe, I've got to spin around. I can't spin that fast. I make people dizzy.
Right. So what I did when you weren't here, is I took this string and put it on this notch here, and then I went all the way across. So you can see on top of here, I have it notched out, or where the line where I got to cut it to, because they're not.
Oh, okay.
They're not 100%. I mean, they're close to where they needed to be, but I needed to make sure that when I put the board on there, it's going to be in a straight line. So that way it's not wavy and things like that.
Oh, gotcha.
It'll look a little nicer. So then I put it down the end where that one's going to be, and then I just drew a line on each of these.
So all of these poles will need a post. And that's what holds the weight of the deck?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the handy piers we installed, these are these metal things.
Okay, let's walk through those. Can you uncover that? Okay, let's get close.
Yeah, so these are like a little diamond-shaped, these are called handy piers. They make them, but there's another company called Diamond Piers.
These things.
Yeah, so they're only like this deep, and you dig out to the earth a little bit, and then these are big long rods that go down below the frost line. Yep, these are just caps on top of these heavy-duty galvanized rods, and they get driven down all the way around it. Okay. And then from there, there's this bracket here that gets attached to the handy pier, and then I chose 6x6s. It supports a little bit more weight, get attached to that, and then we build our deck up for years. So this is the foundation for supporting the deck.
So under every pole that is sticking out of the ground, it's attached to a handy pier, and then that little piece of metal, and then the piece of wood.
Correct.
That holds it in place, because we're on a pretty good incline here.
Yeah, it's almost 5 feet down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that.
So that is how far he currently is. We will check in, I don't know, probably in a couple of hours to see.
Yeah, it's when you're by yourself, it's a slow process.
Yeah,
because
I
you
bet.
gotta like figure out ways to clamp stuff down. Like in order to get the string to hold tight, I had to go get a clamp to hold the string so that I could work on the middle ones. Where if you had two guys, you know, I could have it at the end, and one guy could hold it, and you could just do it. Or,
right.
But
right.
it is what it is. It comes along. You just got to be creative in terms of how you get the job done.
Yeah. So if you do anything important or anything interesting, come in the house and get me so I can.
Everything is important and interesting.
All right. So Scott got all the posts notched out, and he is setting on these little brackets that is going to hold the 2x10 into place for the building of the floor. So that is the next step. He will screw these brackets in, and then the board will go in this part, and it will stretch all the way across through all 4 of those posts.
You know, I did a great job cutting out, notching out for all these posts, except I think I'm a little high, just a little tiny bit, because I'm putting these brackets in there, and I don't think I took into account for that little extra height. So
we're off just a hair.
I'll re-level it here in a second to see where I'm at.
Show them if I can spin around here. See, we're up too far. It is about 2:30 in the afternoon, and look at how far Scott has gotten today. I think when we last left off, he was putting this board in. So he got it all the way down. It's all level, it's all bolted in. And then he started on the back. He got all the boards framed in with the little holders. And then he got the beam all the way across to each post. Now the board isn't one long solid piece, so they piece together here in the middle, and then they go all the way down. So this is the framework to the deck, and it will be, we will square it in, he will square it in over there and connect it all, and then we will start putting the flooring. I'm trying to back up without falling over stuff, so I'm sorry if hello little baby. I am sorry if I was making the camera go funny. Aw, sweet little girl. That's No Tail. Isn't she cute? Because she has no tail. Her tail got frozen or frostbit the first year we were here, and half of it fell off. So now we call her No Tail. She came with the house. Isn't she so sweet? Fluffy little girl. So anyway, this is how far Scott has gotten this afternoon. Well, he's been working on it all day since 8:30 this morning. Wow, it looks great, babe.
Thanks.
Well, you guys, I'm so sorry. The day got away from me. I was doing crafts and stuff with the daycare kids, and Scott got all of the boards put on. I wanted to come out and watch him do the last 2 boards, but good news, he has 1 board that will have to go in this space here. He was 1 short, so he had to run to Menards to pick up another board. I don't know if he will put that in yet today, but if he doesn't, I will film it tomorrow when he starts. So this is the start of the deck. You guys, I wish I could like explain to you how large this is. Like, it feels really large to me, but I am so used to having an empty space here for, you know, since March, that having a big deck here now, it seems like it's taking up so much space, which is okay because this right here, you know, is a hill. So it's coming down. There's a huge incline. So we wouldn't have utilized it for anything anyway, but it just is so big. I cannot wait until it is finished. He is doing such a good job, and he's working alone. Like, it's just him doing it, and I come out and help when I can, but it is few and far between when I do that. So he is doing so good. I just love it. I wish I could like give you there. Does that give it some depth? Okay, I will let you go, and I will come back when Scott gets back with the new piece of wood, and then we will continue the filming from that spot. Okay, you guys, Scott is back with the spare board, and he is right now, I think he is measuring it out to fit the length of all of these boards, right? Is that what you're doing? What are you doing?
When they come basically an inch longer than they need to be. So I only want 16 inches so hopefully all my ducking will work out properly.
16 inches or 16 feet?
Long day. 16 feet. So I just gotta gotta measure and cut that little bit off the end.
Okay.
Essentially.
And then I will bring you guys back when he is installing it to show you what he does. You got it sawed down to the length you need it.
16 feet.
16 feet. So what is the next step?
So earlier today, I had already put the joist hangers on the header. So I can turn the light on there.
Oh, thank you.
And so now, essentially, I have them all done, and I have everything anchored in. Like Rhonda said, that I miscounted the boards somehow, so I had to go back and get another board. But in the meantime, too, I'll show you this while we're here. You can see a bracket right here. This little silver bracket here. This actually, I got a bunch of them along here, and these are actually anchoring it to the house. So that way, the deck can't pull away from
the house.
The house, essentially. So
Oh,
it's just
sure.
another safety measure. Now what I'm going to do is I can get this little kitty to get out of my way for a second. I'm going to flip this up at end. I'm going to put it in the joist hanger. Then I got to beat it on both ends to.
You can't look at me because the light is.
Sorry,
there you go.
To get it to go. So that's essentially what I'm going to do now. So
Okay.
Here, little mama, you go right there. You want to go up there?
Get her. Well, she wants to be by you.
Yeah, she does. Come on. Come on. There you go. And these things weigh like 100 pounds.
Oh, good job.
Well, that one actually fits right in there. Real nice. Oh, I don't have to beat at the other end. Sometimes they get a little snug on the bottom, and I gotta take a sledgehammer and pound them.
He lifted every single one of these boards, 19.
Yeah.
There's 19 boards from the driveway, hauled them over here by himself, and then cut them and attach them to the house. So
yeah, so essentially, well,
they're heavy. They weigh, how much do they weigh?
And some of them are, oh gosh, some of them are like super wet yet, like because they're green treated, but like they're just full of water. So some of them were crazy heavy. I bet you some of them were close to 75, 80 pounds, if not more.
Ugh. All right, all he's doing now is he is going to screw in.
I can go out. Just give me a second, I'll show you.
And there's just two
Yeah.
on each side.
Yeah.
And those are just deck screws.
No, these are not. These are special screws that are meant for this. They have a higher shear strength. Oops. Helps when you get them. Yeah, they're designed for exactly this. So a normal deck screw has less strength so they can snap easier. I mean, not that these can't, but supposedly you're supposed to use this, or you can use the standard nail. I just happen to have them, so I put them on. What I did earlier is I put a little drywall screw there, actually 2 inches out from the edge of the building there. And what I'm going to do is I'll put a tape measure on there and measure diagonally across the deck, and I have another screw over there. I measure this way, and right now I'm about 3/4 of an inch off out of square. So I'm going to see what. So before I start nailing anything down to the foundation, I want to square it up a little bit.
Okay.
So that way it won't make it matter a whole lot how I'm running the deck boards, because I can just trim them off square when I'm all said and done with a straight edge. But I'd like to get it as square as possible to make it look nice and have everything fit as possible. But for given the situation by myself, I thought I did pretty good. But then once I have that done, and I get it squared, I will anchor the 2 outside ones, and then I will put I have 12-foot instead of the 16. I have 2 12-footers. I will anchor those along the front of.
And we're gonna do that tomorrow. We're gonna call it quits for tonight.
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
And then from there, just kind of like then essentially what I have to do is anchor all these down, but I also have to put bracing in. I think it's like the code is for every 4 to 5 feet. So I'll have to have 2 bracings within this.
Okay. Well, that is where I ended the video. I thought I was going to be able to film more, but then the weather got bad and we got put on hold until now. So I hope you enjoyed part 1, and we'll see you in part 2. Bye, friends.